What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at the Subaru BRZ and see what this car has to offer. Huge shout out and thank you to my friends here at Champion Car Company providing this BRZ for today's video. This thing is really clean. Definitely check it out and definitely check out their website down in the description below. But these BRZs have been around for quite some time now. A really good used car, sports car bargain. This thing is a heck of a good price, and we're gonna see if these things are worth buying. This has a 6-speed manual, rear-wheel drive, limited slip differential, and it definitely has some cool things to offer comparing it to other sports cars. It's been a while since I've been behind the wheel of one of these things, but let's get right into it. Alright guys, so we are now in the Subaru BRZ. Now I don't think I've actually ever driven one of these. I've been in the FRS and the Toyota 86 many times, but never actually behind the wheel of the Subaru version. They're all the same cars, but nonetheless, first time in a BRZ. We got the manual transmission, which is the transmission to get. It just adds a lot of fun factor that you're gonna want in this car. So with this car overall, a new car, brand new, they weren't exactly the most successful cars out there. 200 horsepower for around $30,000 is kind of a ripoff, and they didn't sell too well. And when you look at the used market, they depreciated a lot. There's a reason for that. It's because they were too expensive brand new and they didn't sell too well. But now on the used market, getting something like this, you can check out the listing down below for the pricing and everything. Such a good value, because now you're getting a car well into the $20,000 range. Even higher mileage older ones are well into the sub $20,000 mark. So it's a car that's very affordable, very practical. You have a nice sized trunk, the rear seats fold down. So it's a car you can use every single day for pretty much everything. And yet it still is a fun to drive sports car with a limited slip and the manual. And then you can do some modifications, of course, and even turbo it or supercharge it. So it's a really good platform if you're wanting a car that you can modify and make your own and even add some power to it. And then on top of that, the bread and butter for this car is handling. It's not a fast car stock, and it isn't even a fast car when you turbo it. So don't buy one of these thinking you're getting a fast car. But handling wise, this is one of the best cars out there for the twisty turns, the autocrosses, and things like that. I would sort of put this car in line with the Mazda Miata. I would say it's not quite as nimble and sharp as a Miata, given this weighs more, and you don't get that convertible top experience, but you get the added practicality and the storage space. So it's kind of a good trade-off between the two cars. And with all that said, I think you just get a lot of car for the money when you're going for a car like this. Now, as far as acceleration, it's the only time I'm going to talk about it. To give it some gas, there is no acceleration. So in all honesty, it's not a fast car. We all know that. Again, don't buy it thinking you're going to drag race anybody and win, because it's not a fast car. But when you're on a twisty road like this, the car starts coming alive, because in today's day and age, you know, everyone's fighting for more power, more power. I'm doing the same thing with my cars. I want them faster, more powerful, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, you can't use a lot of power on the public roads unless you're drag racing every day or, you know, road coursing every day. You're just not going to use any of your power. But what you can use is a nimble handling, lightweight car and a mechanical transmission like this. So with this type of layout of a car, you will use 100% of what this car has to offer. If you're pedal to the floor, bringing out the engine, redlining it, you're going to use everything this thing has to offer. Other cars, like even my own cars, I'm not really going to use all of the power. Still is fun though, and I am a power person, so I like what I have. But with this car, you really just get to take a step back from the power craze and just drive the car and enjoy the road. So coming into a good sweeper, going around 50, the brakes slowing us down, do a really good job. And then the steering, very nimble and planted. It's going exactly where I want to go. There's pretty much limited body roll or any type of body flex to it. It's a car that if you're in the mountains on a twisty road, you're going to be smiling the entire time. Rev matching is so easy with this transmission. This is a really good manual. I love how easy it is. And now as we come into a really sharp turn, same thing. It's just super nimble. I don't even need to full throttle because I don't need that much power for what I'm doing. I mean, it's a car that can put a smile on your face. And if you guys saw the video where I drove my friend's Mazda Miata, the RF, so it was a newer one, that car honestly just put a smile on my face the entire time because it was fun. There was so much fun factor with a car like that, even though it was like 160 horsepower or some low number like that. And then with the BRZ, we got a little bit more power to carry a little bit more weight. But just taking turns, I don't know, it just has something to it that you can have fun doing. And then if we go back and talk more about the pricing and why I think now is a really good time to pick one up, the hype has died down for these cars. They've been out for many years. You can get a 2013 model year which that's pushing a decade-old car. So this car has been around for quite some time now, and long enough to get them really cheap. If you do want a complete project, I mean, there's some well under $10,000 if you really want to go that low. This one, really good example. And this could be your only car, your daily, your first car. I would say this would be a really good first car. It's fun and sporty, but it's not fast enough to really kill yourself or do anything crazy. You know, you're not gonna be getting tickets or anything because you can't really go too fast. But if you want to just have fun on an affordable budget, the mods aren't expensive. And even the speed, like right there, that was coming out of the turn around 60 miles an hour. So I went from 50 to 60, accelerating out of a turn. Not exactly speeds that are gonna get you into trouble. In my own cars, that would have been 50 to 100. You can get into some trouble doing that. So with this car, it's a really good, I'd say just entry-level sports car, and then also a fun toy car if you want something that you can just have a ball in. Rev matching downshifts. It really makes you focus on the handling side of a car. And honestly, it does get up to speed very well. I mean, I'm going 65 right now. Nothing crazy, it got me there. And I didn't feel like I was struggling for power. I wasn't looking for the car to get me up to speed as fast as I could possibly go. I was just looking to go around this turn in a fun manner. So hitting the brakes, rev matching, and up into the next gear. Now for me, yeah, I think it should be faster. It would be nice. And I believe Toyota has rumors saying the new generation car will have a turbocharged engine, which honestly is going to be an amazing thing. It'll be a more expensive car, probably starting around $30,000 at least. And that's going to be a heck of a car, probably one of the best bang for the buck new sports cars out there. And hopefully has a manual transmission as well. But with this car being roughly half the price of that, I mean, it really just has something fun that anybody can get into. You know, you don't have to sacrifice and spend the same money and just get like a boring car like a Corolla or something. You can get into something with a fun factor and still has plenty of practicality. So driving the BRZ, it has a fun factor for all the handling. We'll hit some more twisty roads to really feel it out again. But it is definitely a car that I think now is a good time to pick up just because the values aren't really changing too much anymore. They've hit their low mark to where you can get it without worrying about losing too much, and you definitely get a really fun car. So now back on another back road. One thing I also like is the suspension in this car does a really good job absorbing the bumps. This car was designed to be a daily. You can drive it every day over different circumstances, and even the ground clearance. I think when this came out, they talked about how it had plenty of ground clearance for being a sporty car like it is. And with all that combination, it's a car, like I said, you can take it anywhere. You don't have to worry about scraping. As long as you don't slam it. I know guys do that with these. But it's absorbing all the bumps, and I'm on a very bumpy road. I don't know if you can tell the picture moving around with the shakiness or anything, but this is not the best road. But when you hit every bump, it just feels normal and soaks it up. It's not a back-breaking ride. These seats are really comfortable. I've always said these are one of my favorite factory seats. I fit in them very nicely. The bolsters do a good job. You have leg bolsters, and they just fit you very well. And I think the overall ergonomics, aside from not having a legit center armrest at all, it's still very comfortable. And they do have aftermarket ones, so you can always get that. But I like how it is very comfortable when you just feel like just cruising, and it's just not going to kill you when you're hitting the bigger bumps. We do have a sport mode. I don't think it really does much. In all honesty, it might sharpen up throttle response. We'll see if I notice any type of difference. But with the sport mode, it does turn traction control off. We can turn stability off and all that good stuff. So this is a car that if you want to do some drifting with or something, it's a very good car to do that. It can get pretty tail happy. Might have to mash the gas a little bit to get up there. But at least given the rear wheel drive and the limited slip and turning traction all the way off, it's a car that if you want to have some fun drifting or learning how to drift, this would be a good starter point. And a lot of people, they comment all the time of what are good first cars. This would be on the list, absolutely, because like I said earlier, it's not crazy fast. You're not going to be going too crazy, you know, getting 100-mile-an-hour speeding tickets or anything, as long as you, of course, be responsible. But it's a car that's not going to get you into trouble, but then when you want to learn new skills about cars, driving manual, rear-wheel drive, those sort of things without having a crazy powerhouse to get you into trouble, this is a heck of a good car. And then given the price points on the used market, a car like this is such an affordable car, and you're just going to get a lot of bang for the buck. And then you do have the practicality and everything like that. So it's a car that, you know, you can use. So we will do one little acceleration, not going too crazy, but we'll get to speed a little bit just to see what it's like. It's peppy enough, I will say. Like, it gets there. It just doesn't put you back in your seat. Throttle response is definitely pretty good. And there's 60. So it's slow. It's not the fastest thing out there. But like I said, just hitting the turns with it. We got a few other ones coming up. I just like how it's a car you can have fun with. You can be smiling when you're in it. And a really good entry level to get into fun sports cars. Alright guys, so I think that's about going to wrap it up for test driving in the Subaru BRZ. My GoPro is overheating on the windshield because it's like 100 degrees out, so I got it in the shade right now. But once again, a huge thank you to Champion Car Company for providing this car for today's video. Definitely check out the link to their website down in the description below. This car is in really good shape, and like we've seen today, it's a really fun entry-level sports car. So then to wrap up all my thoughts, is now the time to buy a Subaru BRZ. Definitely check one out. The used ones are great pricing, and you definitely get a lot for the money. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.